Welcome to Tiger Wolf. I'm Josh, and this is David.
Please be aware, this podcast contains strong language and spoilers.
So today, we're going to be going over Kingdom Hearts 3 Shitty Game Review.
All right, so this game, it does a pretty good job narratively tying everything together in a nice bow. I mean, sure, there are questions sticking out that they don't answer. There's entire chunks of the story they've just ignored. But that's not the point. They hit the major beats, right? That's the important part. Because what was a central part of Kingdom Hearts 1?
Losing all your friends.
Losing all your friends, fighting the Heartless, being helped by...
Mickey?
Not just Mickey. There were other individuals. There was a whole cast of characters that helped you in a town. Right?
Oh, are you talking about the ones from Radiant Guardian?
Yeah. There's a whole cast of characters that helped you all throughout the first game. That same cast of characters, plus a couple of additional ones, helped you out in the second game. Guess what? They are nowhere in the third game. There's not even a reference to them. There's references to Radiant Garden, but not to any of the characters involved with Radiant Garden from that front.
It's impressive because I would have thought that they would have brought in maybe some from the newest edition. But I guess there's only one enough for one king.
But I mean, Mr. Sir Flapsalot, who's been a side boss since the first one, not there. His replacement is a Heartless on fucking roller skates with two swords.
So your issue is that despite the game being developed by Squeenix, there's no Squeenix in it?
There's none. Whatsoever. Unless you count, Sora and them as, well, they're the Squeenix characters in this game.
I mean, Sora, Donald, and Goofy?
Sora, Riku, Kairi. And, the sub-characters who help out, like Axel and...
To be fair, they do have very Squeenix designs to them.
They do. It just... The original game was pitched as Final Fantasy plus Disney. The second game was Final Fantasy plus Disney. The third game...
to be fair, none of them were Final Fantasy plus Disney. It was Disney with a little bit of Final Fantasy seasoning.
The third one is Disney.
Plus Keyblades.
And I mean, maybe if you want to look at the meta text of it, might have something to do with the director being annoyed at his original vision for what would become Final Fantasy 15, becoming Final Fantasy 15 instead.
I'm not sure I understand your statement.
So, remember back when it was originally going to be 13 verses?
Mm-hmm.
The lead that was for 13 verses is the lead that became the lead for Kingdom Hearts 3. When they decided to scrap the idea of 13 verses and it tying into Final Fantasy 13 and its entire storyline, and they shifted it over to become 15 under a different director.
Okay.
Now, that's you can look at the meta text of that, he got taken away, his idea of 13 got taken away, so he wrote every Final Fantasy character out, except for maybe his version of 15,
I mean, maybe if it didn't
13?
take him 20 years to make a game.
Well, he's on Final Fantasy VII Remake now. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, well, we'll get that eventually. Got 5-10 years. It'll be great, though.
Hopefully. But look, like I said, it wraps up the storylines pretty well. Yeah, it does leave a couple of questions, but, that's kind of the point because they want to keep making games to keep making money.
Well, yeah, but if every time they make a new game, it's 5 more years of development, then maybe answer some questions.
I mean, they answered a lot of questions. They also, a lot of people probably didn't like some of the answers they got.
I was just say it seemed more like they made up answers to questions people didn't have.
I mean, did Sora's entire point through this game is to find a way to bring Roxas back. That's his goal. He succeeds at that goal. And Roxas comes back at a pretty cool moment. Because he just, boom, is there. And proceeds to help you fight. Finding Aqua in the world of darkness. And, it being, 10 years that she's been locked in there. And finding out that she finally succumbed to the darkness. Finally, after being alone in this place for a decade or more, she finally just admitted defeat. And then you hit her in the head a few times with the Keyblade and drag her back to the world of light, and everything's good. Terra's armor shows up to help you. Because, Terra is actually the embodiment of who you thought Ansem was in the first game. That body is actually Terra's. And then you go through the effort, a couple of small fights, and you save Terra. Awesome. This is after getting Ventus back. So, you've got this tapestry of a bunch of different Keyblade wielders. Cool.
From what I know of the story, it seems like they had too many meetings where they sat down and were like, how can we convolute this more?
Well, people really like
Roxas. What would be cool?
We need to bring him back somehow. Well, how do you suppose we do that? Well, we use those replica things. That could work. Well, if we bring Roxas back, are we going to bring Xion back too? Why not?
That's not even what I mean. It's like the whole Ansem thing. It was like, they were like, what if the bad guy wasn't really the bad guy?
But he is the bad guy.
But he is the bad guy. He's just not the bad guy that's the bad guy.
He's just the bad guy from a different time point in his evilness. Yeah. And
so you're saying he sent somebody else with his mental purpose in mind in the past to go do the things for him more than once? Yeah.
Oh, but
where was the person who went, no?
But we do need to have that one moment where the heroes are all down in the dumps and then suddenly someone comes through to help them. Oh, who's that going to be? Well, it could be Master Equitas. That would make the most sense. You're right, it would. So it's going to be a young Xehanort, the actual villain from when he was younger, when he still believed in the light. That's who's going to come in and save them. That makes no goddamn sense. Well, that's what we're doing.
It's not going to be Mickey, the one who's been coming in to save everybody, who, this whole time you thought knew something about what was going on. Turns out he probably didn't.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the game. I did. And like I said, the story, they wrapped up the main points of the story.
Hold up. How is she locked in the darkness for 10 years if Mickey's running around the worlds? Because doesn't she get locked up in there when he goes through the gate?
No. She got locked in there because she got dragged into the world of darkness trying to save Terra. She succeeds at saving Terra, but she doesn't realize Terra has already been corrupted by Xehanort. So all she really did was save Xehanort.
Xehanort's evil purpose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he wants to do all this just because he wants another war.
He wants another war so that he can actually summon Kingdom Hearts,
which will
reset reality because he believes it has become polluted by the desires and wants of humanity.
All right. Look, Madar, that's not how it works. You don't just hit the reset button and expect it to be different.
I mean, usually it does.
People will develop in mostly the same way.
I mean, there are going to be differences, though. You hit the button.
Yeah. Roxas might have green hair.
Yeah. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Probably my favorite scene was when Roxas showed back up, because he's my favorite character from the Kingdom Hearts series. But it's not just that he showed back up. It's the fact that they had literally just lost Kairi. Axel's Keyblade had been shattered. And Axel's about to die. And boom, there's Roxas wielding Oblivion and Oathkeeper.
So here's the thing.
He poured it in like Thor did to Wakanda.
So he still failed?
No, I mean, he like, boom, he's there, and then ensuing battle. That part was, and he didn't fail this time. Well, I mean, Roxas didn't fail. He aimed for the head. Or
so
the heart.
What this sounds like is that the gameplay is just kind of separated from the story, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. I mean, that's how RPGs used to be made in a lot of ways. It is not how they're made anymore so much.
Not so much. It felt very dated. It did. Which doesn't bother me as much.
It looked way too much like Kingdom Hearts 2. Like as far as GUI and even the gameplay style and everything. It was way too 10 years ago.
Something I did not enjoy was I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 2's Valor mode, Wisdom mode, their limit breaker mode, basically.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan, whatever you want to call it.
Super Sora, but okay.
In this, it's your weapons change instead of you.
Okay.
Which is an interesting concept, but I didn't really like the design of any of the Keyblades at all. The one I used the most was the Pirates of the Caribbean one. You know why? Because its second mode was called High Wind. And guess what it was? A fucking spear. And its third mode was a fucking flag. It just... There's a lot... Maybe... Sure, they tied the story up, but there were things that could have been made a lot better. Like, they took a bunch of familiar things out. There was no Colosseum. We had battle gates now.
Maybe they wanted to... I think the concept there is like, well, we should have it be like they're still fighting against the enemy here and not just doing these side missions. Like, what sense logically from the story standpoint did it make that there were just Heartless that showed up in this Coliseum for you to fight?
What point of logical story element does it make sense for me to help a rat make a restaurant 5 stars?
Whoa. Have
Absolutely
you watched Ratatouille?
None.
Have you watched Ratatouille?
Yes, a long time ago. My point is, what amount of levity does that have on the Keyblade War?
You're helping this world because that's what's supposed to happen in the world.
Really, because the guy who's funding said restaurant is effectively a planeswalker, because these are all supposed to be separate worlds, and he just pops around however he fucking wants because he has the money to do it.
Are you talking about you?
No, Donald's Uncle Scrooge.
Well, that's not canon.
Oh, it's canon that he can pop around to the worlds. That's canon.
I mean, not in the movies. It's not canon for the movies at all.
I said for the world they have established in the game. And for that matter, technically,
Is Launchpad in this?
no.
The fuck? How does he get around in the worlds then? That's Launchpad's job.
No idea. Gummy ship, assumptively, probably built by Chippendale.
And flown by Launchpad. That's how it works. He can fly anything.
I assume it's actually flown by Scrooge because you never see his ship and you never see a pilot. So,
Oh, he does the money teleport.
yeah, I might. But I mean, like, I just feel like you see Radiant Garden repeatedly in the cutscenes, but you never go to Radiant Garden.
I don't think you go to Radiant Guardian in any of them.
Do you spend a lot of time in Radiant Garden in Kingdom Hearts 2?
I don't remember.
Radiant Garden is where Tron's located. So you had to go to Radiant Garden to go to Tron.
Oh.
It was a world within a world. Aha!
Well, I mean, that's what Tron is.
I know. But you've
And Radiant Garden was the closest thing to the real world.
Yeah. But you've got, the world selection here was kind of lacklustered, personally. I went back to the Caribbean. Don't get me wrong. Having my own ship, feeling like I was playing Black Flag. Okay, you won me over with that part. But, Monsters Incorporated. Okay. Tangled. Okay. Arendelle or Frozen. Yeah, that was almost certainly gonna be in the game. Let's see. Twilight Town,
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6, Hercules.
Always Hercules. Did they explain why it's different worlds?
Now. That's it. That was the whole list.
Did they ever explain why it's different worlds in each game?
Nope.
Because like Hercules and Twilight Town are in like all three games.
Well, Twilight Town's in 2. The first one had Traverse Town.
Oh my fucking god!
It's a different place. It's a different place, man. Just saying, it's a different place.
Yeah.
Hercules has been in all of them, though.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me. Why Hercules is such a big deal to this? Probably because it adapts well to the game.
Yeah. And there are multiple.
Ratatouille was a weird choice.
Yeah, it's not even. Ratatouille's not even its own world. It's
France. They're in France.
He's not in France. He's in Twilight Town, opening a restaurant for Uncle Scrooge.
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
Oh, I did forget one. I'm sorry. There's a mini game. There's a set of 3 mini games
You forgot the Toy Story place.
that you play for Pooh.
Did you play that?
I think I said Toy Story earlier. And then there's the 3 mini game area of Pooh. It is literally you walk around rabbits.
Pooh's was
reoccurring. Yeah, it was in all 3. But you walk around rabbits area, and
So glad you didn't say Rabbit's Hole.
and it's kind of like a weird version of Candy Crush, where you have to match a certain number of insert vegetable or insert fruit or insert flower. And for the flower one, you're matching the flower so that you can get the honey nectar so that you can make honey for Pooh. That was all 3. That was all 3 of the mini games.
All right.
Like there's a short mini game where you're in Toy Story, then get thrown into a TV, which is playing a video game demo, and you play that. You're playing in that demo, which was for lack of a better term, it's Gundam Wing. Or Gundam, anything. It's a large mech suit. You're shooting other mech suits.
It's a Gundam!
Just, they're very generic looking mech suits because copyright.
So they used some of the villains from the classic Disney things, but they never really used the worlds for like Sleeping Beauty.
Nope.
or Snow White?
Sleeping Beauty appears in Birth by Sleep.
Well, the villains from those are in the first one.
Yeah, the world appears in Birth by Sleep, though.
Oh.
You do go to that world in Birth by Sleep. But I mean, like...
You do have Beauty and the Beast in one of them, don't you?
Yes, in the second one.
That's so long.
And Beast is in the first one. He's trying to find Belle after their world was destroyed, but Beast survived through sheer force of will, because...
I mean, it makes sense.
That's him.
Yeah.
I mean,
if he's got anything left,
he's going to keep going.
Yeah, because he fights with you, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, one of the questions it leaves open is, at the end, Kyrie's missing again. And Sora's like, well, I'm going to use the power of awakening to find her. And Mickey's like, whoa, that's not how this works. You can't just use this power like that. There's repercussions. There's consequences. You might not make it back. Sora's like, I have to do this.
And Riku's like, he's going to do this.
Riku's just like, he's going to do it. We just need to accept that.
Look, Mickey, I understand that you always stayed one step ahead of Sora. But he's made up his mind.
He's doing this. And then it showed, happy scenes of pretty much everybody else. On
the islands, right?
They all culminate back to the island to visit each other, but it bounces around from like Naminé getting resurrected in Radiant Garden, Riku going to pick her up, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy returning back to Disney Castle. And, Mickey's, Daisy going up and just at Donald, like she's about to scream, and then hugs him. There's no one there for Goofy.
Believe his dog was there?
No, Pluto's Mickey's dog.
Oh, right. Damn, that's right. Goofy is a dog.
Yes, he is. Toy Story, Bud and them are all talking, and they hear someone walking up to Andy's door, and the doorknob's starting to turn, so they just drop.
Why couldn't it be Max?
Twilight Town, it has, Axel sitting on the clock tower, and then Roxas and Shion come around the corner, and then Hayner, Olette, and Pence come around the corner. And then Styx, Axel's best friend when he was a kid, who was a member of Organization 13, comes around the corner also.
And Organization of 13.
Yeah. The fake one, not the real one. Actually was also part of the real one, so complicated. He was part of the
I thought the real one was all Xehanort and Xehanort and Xehanort.
He was manipulative usage in the Xehanort exclusive Organization 13. So he knew about the real organization while being an official part of the secondary fake organization, which is being used to create conduits for the real organization. Anyway.
Hey guys, remember that part where I said the story was stupid? I meant convoluted.
It bounced, it shows Aqua, Terra, and Ventus back at their world. You think everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Everything's nice. Then it shows all of them coming back to Destiny Isles. And they're all having fun. Donald makes a sand Donald. And then promptly gets destroyed by a frisbee.
I believe that would be a sand duck.
And then, the camera shifts a little bit. And there's Kyrie and Sora. All right, cool. He did it. He did the thing he said he was going to do. Kyrie's looks over at him, and she starts crying. And then Sora fades from existence.
Kind of like Spider-Man.
Ooh, no, he at least turned to dust. There's nothing left of Sora.
No, it was dust and it went away. Like, it flew off.
And then you have the epilogue, which shows Crossbow Guy from 2. Member of the fake organization, getting a Keyblade because old man Xehanort told him he was going to get it when Xehanort died.
Is this the scene where the other ones show up?
Yeah, and then others show up and they're like, Lusu, what is going on? Well, I hope you like long stories. Next game. But then there's the secret ending that shows Sora and Riku waking up in a place that looks suspiciously like real world. I got the feeling of Tokyo from it. But it also could have been the world from the video game that you saw earlier in the game when you went to Toy Story.
Oh, and
Vermin Rex.
the important thing here is that there was mysterious hooded figures as there are in every Kingdom Hearts.
Yep. And the mysterious hooded figure looks up at the moon and he's moving his hands around and he forms the shape of a heart over the moon. All in all, it's worth playing. It is. If you were a fan of Kingdom Hearts, it's worth playing. But don't expect anything revolutionary.
Don't expect anything different than what you played before.
Don't expect anything revolutionary.
It was clearly made to tell the story
Yeah.
with a combat system they knew worked.
Yep. Exactly what it was.
Which is unfortunate.
They may change things up for whatever comes next.
I feel like the next, like, that's maybe some of their goal. It's not going to be Kingdom Hearts anymore in the same way.
Yeah.
The fact that they're bringing in Riku and Sora for it is disappointing, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I want to be done with Sora.
I don't like Sora as a character.
He wasn't that great of a character.
I don't like him as a character. I mean, it says something when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and I'm like, who's this new guy? I like him. Oh, you sons of bitches.
It was...
Maybe it's...
They made such better characters in that game series, and then you don't get to be them, really.
Yeah.
Like, from the beginning of 1, I was like, I want to play as Riku.
You're able to play as Riku in Dream Drop, which is one of the handheld games, and for a fight in Kingdom Hearts 3.
A heavy sigh to your response.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, like I said, I kind of wish they would have, they closed the book, so to speak, for Kingdom Hearts, the Dark Seeker Saga, which is what the ending for. The stuff dealing with Xehanort. I kind of wish that when they closed that book, they left that book closed. They had given us completely new characters for whatever comes
continue
next.
the Kingdom Hearts legacy and like core concepts with different stuff.
Yeah, give me my own character or something.
Well, I mean,
there is
plenty of
keyboard.
RPGs out there you can make your own character.
Yes, there is the cell phone Kingdom Hearts game where you create your own Keyblade user, but I want to look at a cutscene and be like, "Yep, I know exactly which one's mine."
Because of how ridiculous it was with its silver hair and everything.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Riku.
It's just
looks like Roxas.
It's just Goku with silver hair.
Nah, I don't need Ultra Instinct Goku.
That's blue hair, I thought.
Nah, right? Okay, so
I don't care. So
Silver
I
is
don't
Ultra
know. I don't
Instinct.
care.
Just saying.
I do not care. So you say play it?
Yeah, it's worth playing.
I won't.
If you enjoy
I probably
the story,
won't. I know
it's
the
worth
story now, so I don't really need to.
That's fair. Well, I suppose that's the end of the episode.
Please like, comment, follow, and share. And also, more importantly, thank you for listening.
Take care. Bye.